Welcome to Athaga Crispy, where the darkest mysteries come to life. Today we dive into a story of psychological manipulation, deception, and tragedy that stunned the world. Hold on tight as we explore the case of Gypsy Rose Blanchard, a family drama that blurs the lines between victim and perpetrator. It was a quiet night in Springfield, Missouri in 2015, but behind the peaceful facades of houses lay a terrible secret. A sordid manipulation orchestrated by a mother to maintain total control over her daughter. Tonight, we uncover how this manipulation led to a shocking murder. Dee Dee Blanchard, a woman with deceptive charm, was seen as a devoted mother. She portrayed her daughter, Gypsy Rose, as gravely ill, an innocent victim of a series of severe illnesses. But behind this mask of altruistic motherhood lay a much darker reality. To understand Dee Dee's motives, we must look into her past. Born Claudine Peter in Louisiana, Dee Dee had a history of problematic behavior. Friends and family reported incidents of theft, fraud, and even poisoning attempts on her own family members. These early signs of manipulative tendencies would later manifest in her treatment of Gypsy. Since Gypsy's birth in 1991, Dee Dee orchestrated a sinister plot. She claimed her daughter suffered from muscular dystrophy, leukemia, and various other disorders. Multiple medical interventions, heavy treatments, and hospitalizations followed. Yet each diagnosis seemed to be false. Dee Dee had created an alternative reality, one where Gypsy was perpetually ill, a puppet in the hands of a controlling mother. Gypsy's alleged conditions included an astonishing array of severe diseases and health issues. Dee Dee insisted that Gypsy was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy, which she claimed left Gypsy unable to walk. Gypsy was often seen in a wheelchair, though she could actually walk unaided. Dee Dee shaved Gypsy's head regularly to mimic the effects of chemotherapy, claiming Gypsy had leukemia. This was despite Gypsy never showing actual signs of cancer. In addition to these, Dee Dee maintained that Gypsy had epilepsy, making her take anti-seizure medications despite never having seizures. She was forced to use a feeding tube due to alleged swallowing issues, leading to multiple unnecessary surgeries. Dee Dee also told doctors that Gypsy had severe asthma, brain damage, vision and hearing problems, and even a latex allergy, resulting in a series of unwarranted medical precautions and treatments. Dee Dee kept a meticulous record of these fabricated illnesses, presenting falsified medical history to numerous doctors. Gypsy underwent countless procedures, including eye surgeries and the removal of her salivary glands. These interventions caused real physical harm, as Gypsy was subjected to significant medical trauma, including infections from the feeding tube and the side effects of medications she did not need. The medical community was often perplexed by the contradictions in Gypsy's health, yet Dee Dee's convincing demeanor and fraudulent medical records kept the truth hidden. This elaborate web of deception ensured that Gypsy remained under Dee Dee's control, isolated from the reality of her own health and well-being. What drove Dee Dee to such extremes? Experts believe she suffered from Munchausen syndrome by proxy, a mental disorder where a caregiver fabricates or induces illness in a person under their care. This behavior is driven by a desire for attention, sympathy, and sometimes financial gain. Gypsy, despite her young age, lived in a golden cage of illusion. She was isolated from the outside world, cut off from other children and normal activities for her age. Her reality was a series of medical appointments and treatments, all under the watchful eye of an omnipresent mother. How did this manipulation persist for so long? That is the question we must explore. The Blanchards received considerable financial support and gifts from charities, including a house built by Habitat for Humanity. Dee Dee's portrayal of herself as a devoted, struggling single mother won the sympathy of the community, further entrenching the lies she had built. Gypsy's life was a series of constraints. Despite this, she showed signs of rebellion. Secretly, she began to question her mother's narrative. She longed for the freedom other children had, a wish that grew stronger as she entered her teenage years. Gypsy's hidden stash of notebooks and online diaries reveal a young girl desperate to break free from her mother's control. As Gypsy grew older, a desire for freedom awakened in her. Through the internet, she found an escape in Nicholas Godejohn, a young man with whom she began exchanging messages. Their virtual relationship quickly became more than just a friendship. Tired of her mother's grip, Gypsy shared her dreams of escape with Godejohn. Their connection became a complex web of desperation and planning. Nicholas had his own issues, including a troubled past and a criminal record. Their relationship was intense and fraught with psychological complexities. Conversations between them reveal a mixture of fantasy and grim reality as they plotted an escape from Dee Dee's control. On June 14, 2015, a tragic escape plan was set in motion. Nicholas Godejohn, influenced by Gypsy and their joint plan, entered the family home with the intention to kill Dee Dee. What was meant to be a liberating act for Gypsy turned into a night of chaos and violence. The night of the murder was chaotic. Dee Dee was asleep in her bedroom when Nicholas entered. Gypsy, waiting in the bathroom, covered her ears as Nicholas stabbed Dee Dee multiple times. They left the scene hurriedly, believing they were finally free from Dee Dee's grip. However, this act of violence was just the beginning of their troubles. Dee Dee Blanchard was found dead in her bedroom, stabbed multiple times. Gypsy and Godejohn fled, but their long-awaited freedom didn't last. Their arrest brought to light a terrible truth. Gypsy was both a victim and an accomplice. How could a girl manipulated since birth find herself in such a tragic situation? Their capture was swift. Authorities, tipped off by a Facebook post Gypsy had made, tracked them down in Wisconsin. The trial that followed revealed the depth of Dee Dee's deception and the extent of Gypsy's suffering. The case of Gypsy Rose Blanchard is a psychological labyrinth. Dee Dee Blanchard, suffering from Munchausen syndrome by proxy, exploited her daughter for attention and personal gain. Gypsy, on the other hand, is a product of this toxic environment, shaped by years of deception and abuse. The psychological mechanisms at play are complex, revealing the fragility of human relationships under pressure. Experts testify that years of abuse left Gypsy with a skewed perception of reality. The manipulation she endured was not just physical, but psychological, making it difficult for her to discern right from wrong. This dynamic between Dee Dee and Gypsy is a textbook case of a destructive, codependent relationship. Gypsy Rose Blanchard was sentenced to 10 years in prison for her role in her mother's murder, while Nicholas Godejohn received a life sentence. The court considered Gypsy's years of abuse in their sentencing, recognizing her as a victim of her mother's severe and prolonged manipulation. The trial was a media sensation, bringing to light the disturbing details of Gypsy's life. Legal experts debated the implications of her case, highlighting issues of mental health, domestic abuse, and the justice system's role in such complex situations. Gypsy's drama is a grim reminder of the ravages of psychological manipulation and human tragedy. Her story invites us to reflect on the nature of guilt, victimhood, and the perpetrator. Gypsy's journey, though tragic, serves as a case study for understanding the profound impact of abusive relationships. What can we learn from Gypsy's story? It highlights the importance of vigilance and empathy in detecting and addressing abuse. It also underscores the need for better mental health support and intervention strategies to prevent such tragedies from occurring. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the darkness of the human mind. If you found this story as fascinating as it is disturbing, subscribe for more intriguing tales. And remember, in the world of true crime, appearances can be deceiving. Until next time, on Athaga Crispy.